Before I begin, just a bit louder, Ali, please. Before I begin, I would like to echo the words of the president of Peterborough Jamaat, Al-Hajj Ridwan Ramtullah, who, alongside Jibreel, is amongst the best presidents that I've recited for. And I'd like to thank him very much for his kindness in this period. He is genuine in what he says, and I sincerely believe that he is a breath of fresh air when it comes to leadership in our Shia communities. Because he's a person who works sincerely for the community, doesn't look for credit in the work that he does, and him and his team have been a fantastic team and a pleasure to recite for as well in these nights. And if my support is anything, I give wholehearted support to each and every one of you if you can tonight, as you're leaving with the name of Ali al-Akbar as your niyyah. Give a pledge, inshaAllah. Secondly, I'd like to thank the Leicester Jamaat as well for their kindness. I know many of us have missed Majalis al-Husayn alayhi salam, and credit to them for bringing everyone together, inshaAllah. And hopefully their good work continue. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بسيدنا ومولانا أبي عبد الله الحسين عليه السلام، وجعلنا الله وإياكم من الطالبين بثأره بين يدي الإمام المنصور المؤيد المهدي من آل محمد. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد. الله صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الغر الميامين. الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيدي ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب. اللهم صل. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. أما بعد، أنا علي بن الحسين بن علي، نحن وبيت الله أولى بالنبي. أطعنكم بالرمح حتى ينثني، أضربكم بالسيف أحمي عن أبي. ضرب غلام هاشمي علوي، والله لا يحكم فينا ابن الداعي. These words were the words of Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam when he stood in front of the army of Umar bin Sa'ad on the plains of Karbala. Many people don't understand the stature and the prowess of Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. Every year in the Majalis, in the holy month of Muharram, the only thing we hear about Ali al-Akbar are 5 minutes masa'ib. If you were to ask many of the Shia in the world to give you the biography of Ali al-Akbar, you'll find that many are hard pressed to give the biography of this outstanding personality. Ali al-Akbar is not just the son of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. Unlike other schools in Islam, we don't value people because of who they're related to. We value them because of the prowess in their character. Other schools in Islam respect individuals because of who they're related to. So-and-so is the wife of. So-and-so is the father-in-law of. So-and-so is the cousin of. If Islam was about relations, then Qabil and Abu Lahab would be in Jannah tonight. But the reality is that Islam is not about relations. My reverence for the family of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, is because of the fact that each and every one of them had their own merits. They had ilm, knowledge, they had hikmah, wisdom, they had taqwa, God consciousness, they had ikhlas, sincerity. Each of these attributes was what made these personalities, and especially the personalities of the 10th of Muharram. Because when every year we hear As-salamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn, there are some marajih who believe that wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn is Ali al-Akbar, not Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam. Because there are some, when they come to the biography of Ali al-Akbar, come to an understanding that that was a particular message directed at him, especially in relation to his age. Ali al-Akbar was so dear to the heart of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, not simply because of a father-son relationship, because of what Islam lost when Akbar fell. Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, while he loves his own family, his love for Allah is greater than everything else. When he saw Ali al-Akbar fall on the plains of Karbala, there was a mixture of two emotions that affected the Imam. One emotion was that of a father to the son. The other emotion was the emotion that this religion had lost another great personality. Therefore, I remember Ayatollah Naini, may Allah bless his soul. Ayatollah Naini narrates that one day I had seen Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam in my dream. He said, when I saw Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam in my dream, it was after I had recited Masa'ib on Ali al-Akbar in a Majalis. He said, that night I saw Imam al-Husayn in my dream and he had arrows all over his body. I was saddened because I was wondering, why are all these arrows all over the body of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam? I know that I've recited this, but I wanted to see him in a different state. He said, the next day when I gave my majlis on Abul Fadl al-Abbas. The night before I gave my majlis on Ali al-Akbar. He said, when I saw Imam al-Husayn again in my dream, I saw that all the arrows had gone except two. He said, in my conversation with the Imam, I said, Mawla, last night I saw you with so many arrows. And tonight I only seen you with two. Why is it? He said, when my Shia cried at the end of your Masa'ib, it washed away all the arrows of pain that I feel. But there are two arrows that will never leave me. The arrow that hit Akbar and the arrow that hit Abbas alayhi salam. It showed you that Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, how much pain he felt for Ali al-Akbar at what happened. But I ask many of you, are you able to quote me, all of you here, and all the listeners online, quote me 2-3 hadiths from Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. Ali al-Akbar, how much you revere him. Do you revere him because Karbala for you is another tragic story which us humans love? You know, there are many of us humans who love tragic stories. If you ask us to implement those stories, we don't implement them. And that's why for some of us, Karbala and its figures are not implementable because we don't look at them as role models. We look at them as tragedies. There's a difference in the character of a Shi'i who looks at someone as a role model to someone who looks at someone purely as someone who can make me cry. I ask all of you here in this hall, lovers of Ali al-Akbar, mashallah, each and every one of you, what 2-3 hadiths could you give me from Ali al-Akbar? You say that he's great, but is that greatness because you've inherited it? There are many who inherit religion. If you were born Hindu, they'd stay Hindu. If they were born Sikh, they'd stay Sikh. If they were born Christian, they'd stay Christian. We're born Shia, alhamdulillah, in many cases here. Would we have remained Shia if we were born, for example, into another religion? Because Ali al-Akbar, the way he raises me is when I can actually be able to quote from Ali al-Akbar, to be able to use those lines from Ali al-Akbar. Therefore tonight, let's explore as much as we can the life of Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam, in order that we're not just going to shed tears inshaAllah for him for the rest of Muharrams, but let us also see what of his life we can implement in ours. And I'd like to do this by opening up virtually every word that he said on the 10th of Muharram, and what each and every word meant, and the principles from each of these words. First and foremost, Ali al-Akbar, his father is clear for all of us to know. His father, Husayn bin Ali. Who was the mother? The mother had two interesting family trees. From one side, she is whose great-granddaughter? She's Abu Sufyan's great-granddaughter. Yes, you would never think it. You'd think his mom, Layla, comes from the most religious of families. Layla is who? Is the daughter of Maymuna, the daughter of Abu Sufyan. Muawiyah is Layla's uncle. Yazid, Layla's first cousin, direct first cousin. Therefore you found that from that one side, you had that she was related to who? Related to Abu Sufyan. On the first level, it's highlighted to us that sometimes the khabith comes from the tayyib, and sometimes the tayyib comes from the khabith. Sometimes you can have the purest person come from the worst household, and sometimes you can have the worst person come from the purest household. As in, it can happen that us as humans should never generalize someone because of which family they come from. We have a tendency that if we hear someone is son of this family, they're known for this and that. No. Sometimes the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Sometimes the reality is that a person can find their own way. Layla, from one side, her mother Maymuna was the daughter of Abu Sufyan. And that's why on the 10th of Muharram, there was an order given. Where's Ali al-Akbar? They said to him, what do you mean? He said, the emperor has said that tell him that we offer him sanctuary and we offer him peace. Everyone was bemused. Why? He said, because his mom is my cousin. Layla, being related to Yazid, there was a first cousin relationship there. There were two on the 10th of Muharram who were offered immunity because of their relations. One, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, his mom related to Shimr bin Dil-Jawshan. The second, Ali al-Akbar, he was related to who? Related to Yazid. Of course, Ali al-Akbar would not take up this offer. Why? Because just because I'm related to someone, that person, if they're going to lead me to doing haram, I don't care if I'm related to them or no. How many times you make an excuse that I need to go to a gathering, even if there's haram in that gathering? You know, they're our cousins, so we have to be at their wedding. Who said because they're your cousins, you have to be at their wedding? Said, no, but you don't understand. They're family, so if they have a DJ there, they have alcohol there, you need to understand that my mom said that they're our cousins. So what if they're your cousin? You have your qabr, they have their qabr. At the end of the day, you can't be making excuses that because someone's related to you and they want you to go towards a certain path, that you're going to follow that path. Ali al-Akbar, look towards them. So what if Yazid's my cousin? Who cares? They said, but that means you've got immunity. I'd rather have immunity with the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. So you had on the one side, Ali al-Akbar's mom, Layla. Her relation to Abu Sufyan. What's her other relation? Her grandfather from the other side is one of the four masters of Quraysh and one of the greatest companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, even though he died shortly after being a companion of the Prophet. Who? Because from the other side, she's the daughter of Abi Murrah, the son of Urwa bin Mas'ud al-Thaqafi. My word, Layla comes from some crazy tribes. On the one hand, Bani Umayyah. On the other hand, which tribe? Thaqif. Thaqif have got nutcases, and Thaqif have got good. From the one side of Thaqif, you have the likes of Hajjaj bin Yusuf al-Thaqafi. From the other side of Thaqif, you have Mukhtar al-Thaqafi. All of these are intermarried. Layla, her grandfather, originally was part of the Quraysh who were against Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa. When the Hudaybiyah treaty happened, this Urwa bin Mas'ud went on the day of Hudaybiyah. He was one of the people who was sent as a diplomat on that day to negotiate. So while he was there on that day to negotiate, you found that he came and he was looking at the companions, looking at their behavior. He noticed that when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa would do wudu, the drops of the water the people would jump for. He saw how much they idolized the Prophet. He came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa. Now remember, he had heard rumors about Rasulullah his whole life. Muhammad's a madman, Muhammad's a sorcerer, Muhammad's this, Muhammad's that. But when he came to meet Rasulullah, he noticed there's only akhlaq from this man. And I want you to focus on this word, every single one of you. Because if one word describes Ali al-Akbar, it's going to be this word when Imam al-Husayn describes him before he leaves. His akhlaq, the akhlaq of Rasulullah, towards who? Imagine how this world is. How many of you over here, when you tell stories of how you and your wife got married, somehow your grandparents knew each other some way. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa ali's good akhlaq would one day result in his grandson and Urwa bin Mas'ud's grandson coming together. That Urwa bin Mas'ud al-Thaqafi, he came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. He realized Rasulullah is a man of humility, a man of the best akhlaq. He went back to Banu Thaqif. Imam has a lovely hadith about him. He says there are 4 who came to the call of their prophet when they were needed. And eventually, these 4 ended up being the most loyal. The first of them, listen to who he compares him to. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قال رجل مؤمن من آل فرعون. The believer from the people of Pharaoh who came to the call of Moses. He did taqiyya, you know the story. When he did taqiyya, he wouldn't reveal his belief because Moses would be killed by Pharaoh. So he told Moses, listen, I believe in you, but I'm Pharaoh's cousin. But I'm loyal to you. I'll tell you what exactly they're thinking. He said the second one who was loyal to their prophet, Surah Yasin. All of you here recite with me because there is no surah the Khaja will recite except Surah Yasin. And then we'll move on to Mulk and Dukhan maybe in the holy nights of Ramadan. But if you all recite with me, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَإِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهِمْ اثْنَيْنِ فَكَذَّبُوهُمَا فَعَزَّزْنَا بِثَالِثٍ. 3 people, 2 went towards the people to convert them to Christianity. The people didn't listen. They belied them. A 3rd was sent. And then when that 3rd was sent and everyone mocked him, recite with me again. جاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين. A person came from the furthest part of the city and said, follow these messengers. Everyone had ditched them. Everyone had skanked them. Everyone had left them alone. But that person came. He was loyal to that prophet or those messengers. That was number 2. Number 3, there's a mention of Abu Talib and Imam Ali being loyal to Rasulullah when everyone was not there. Who was number 4? Imam says, and Ali al-Akbar's grandfather, Urwa bin Mas'ud. He was loyal to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa by going to his tribe knowing, Thaqif hated the prophet. Any of you who've listened to my lecture many years ago, the Battle of Hunayn, some of you may have heard that Majalis, about how Imam Ali destroyed Thaqif on one particular afternoon. That lecture, Thaqif hated the Prophet. Imagine this man went to them and said, I'm telling you, جاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى. Exactly the same words as Surah Yasin. قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين. My people follow this messenger. Ali al-Akbar doesn't fall far from the tree. The house that he comes from is a house of sacrifice, a house of loyalty, a house which loved the religion of Islam. Urwa bin Mas'ud comes to his people, like the mu'min of Al Yasin, executed. Mu'min of Al Fir'aun, executed. Urwa bin Mas'ud comes to his people, what do they do to him? They end up executing him. How dare you tell us to join Muhammad? He's like, listen, I'm telling you, this man is truthful and trustworthy. He's a good human being. And I do sometimes wonder, when Imam al-Husayn marries Layla, I wonder if a part of it is his grandfather somehow telling him one day that there will be, you hear these stories of the Imams, that one day there is someone waiting for you. Maybe one day Rasulullah, because the grandfather of Layla gave his life away for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Imams never pick any lady for marriage. There are certain ladies who are picked for a particular reason. Therefore, you found that from her grandparents, she was from Thaqif and she was from Umayyah. When did she give birth to him? 11th of Sha'ban. And that's why I say in our calendars, we need to add a new date now. It's only because we don't know Ali al-Akbar that we just follow what everyone follows. Isn't that true? As if people knew Ali al-Akbar, we'd go to our Hujjat calendar, inshallah, and we'd go to 11th of Sha'ban, 4 days before the night of the 15th. Let's do wiladat of who? Of Ali al-Akbar. Ali al-Akbar, 11th of Sha'ban, when? 33 after Hijrah. How old would that make him on the 10th of Muharram, in your opinion? $33 after Hijrah? How old would that make him? Either the maths of the city's gone down, or it's pretty simple. 33 after Hijrah, Karbala's which year? 61. So how old would that make him? 27, let's say. I remember once a Nawha Khan said to me, Sayyidina, you said he's 27. I said, yeah. He goes, you've ruined my Nawha. So I said, how did I ruin your Nawha? He said, because in my Nawha all my life I've heard he was 18. I said, brother, wallah, I'm not here to ruin people's Nawhas. Nor am I here to hurt you in any way. I even have read a narration of 18. So there's no problem. It's neither here or there. In reality, whether you're 18, 21, 23, 27, the reality is you want to learn from the example of the person. Many people, you ask them, how old was Imam al-Hasan when he died? I guarantee you, 90% of the Shia world will not know that Imam al-Hasan was 47 when he died. Many don't know. But you want to learn from the lesson. Ali al-Akbar was the eldest of Imam al-Husayn's sons. That's why one of the Maraja I sat with said to me that in his opinion, As-salamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn was Ali al-Akbar. He said, Awlad al-Husayn counts Imam Zayn al-Abidin still. But we found that Ali al-Akbar, because of his sacrifice on the 10th of Muharram, he said that salam is an honor of Shuhada Karbala. As-salamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala. So the conundrum is what? Shuhada Karbala. Ali al-Akbar, 27 years of age. In my opinion, he probably was married by the time Karbala came. Because in the ziyarah we say, As-salamu alayka ya Abal Hasan. Now someone might say, maybe that's just his kunya. Arabs do have this, that they may not have a son called Hassan, but when you meet him, he's called Abul Hassan. But according to some ulama, he had a son. He named him Ali. Why? Why doesn't Imam al-Husayn name a cool name? Because now we have cool names. I don't know what a cool name is. You're not proud of the names our parents gave us all these years? Or is there an inferiority complex in you now? I know many of the brothers here are proud to have sons, Abbas, Husayn, Hamza, Ja'far. But I'm hearing some weird names these days. Now, these names are mad. Because when I'm hearing these names, I get a bit embarrassed. I'll tell you why I get embarrassed. Because someone's like, Sayyidina, do you mind reading a dua for our daughter? And I'm like, what's her name? And they give me a name. I'm looking at them. And I'm thinking, what in God's name made you choose such a name? As in, for what reason? Because you want to keep up with the Joneses? So that I look cool in school. What is it? They're bringing a knife to school and going to stab you? Because I grew up in this country. My name is Ammar. Not once at school did anyone come to my name and say, hey bro, why are you called Ammar? Not once. There are some of you here. All of you may have these names. How many of us were called Husayn or Abbas or Ali? How much did we really get made fun of at school because we had those names? In reality, in many cases, alhamdulillah, either there were many non-Shia who had names similar, or there was a big community. Why are we moving to that direction? Imam al-Husayn straight away said he's called Ali. Second son, Ali. Third son, Ali. Asked him why? He said, if I had 1,000 sons, I'll name them all after my father. Because his father, in reality, whenever you hear his name anywhere, it softens your heart. Isn't that true? Anytime you hear his name, it softens your heart. Someone came to me and said, bro, you know, once we were going to name the name Ali, but we have 6 Alis in the family. So I said, what's wrong with that? Because you don't get it. Like my cousin's called Ali. Who cares? So put more Alis. The whole earth should be Ali. Every single member of the population of this world. Even one day, inshallah, when I may sit in an office and make decisions on behalf of people, I will turn around and say that all of us have to call ourselves Ali. It will not stop. Reality is, do you know why Ahlul Bayt kept naming Ali? On the one hand, love of their father. On the other hand, to show that this man's fada'il will never stop. Wherever you go in the world now, how much Muawiyah tried to put his fada'il under the ground? How many stories they gave to randoms? Random. You give him a story, his whole life he's a mess. They give him stories of Imam Ali to make him look good. Yes? And you can name a few, I'm sure. You give him stories of Imam Ali. Imam al-Husayn, first son, Ali Akbar. Second, Ali Zayn al-Abidin. Third, Ali Asghar. Imam al-Husayn, why don't you name any other names? No need to name any other names. Daughters, Fatima Kubra, Fatima Sughra, Fatima Wusta, Fatima Ukhra. Someone says, I thought his daughters were called Sukayn and Ruqayya. Sukayn and Ruqayya, not their names. Titles. Sukayna, the one who gives me tranquility. Ruqayya, the one who gives me comfort. But the name, Fatima Kubra, Fatima Sughra, Fatima Wusta, Fatima Ukhra. Why? Because if I had 1,000 daughters, I'll name them all Fatima. I'm not proud of naming Fatima Zahra, as in, is that what we've really come to? And I love it when people name random prophets' names. I know that there are certain prophets you name after. Okay, I can understand, Prophet Jesus, Moses. When I hear a random prophet's name, and I know you don't know anything about that prophet, and you're naming, why, bro? Why are you naming that name? I can appreciate your niyas, maybe that this is a prophet that I really love. How many majalis have you really heard on that prophet? Give me a break. You name because you're proud of Al Muhammad. You want their name to spread everywhere. I can understand if you're living in the most racist area in the world. Even the Shia. How many times have you heard narrators who are called Muawiyah or Yazid in Shia tradition? I'm sure you've heard in Majalis where you're like, did he just say Muawiyah narrated from? Imam Sadiq, one of his closest companions. Muawiyah bin Wahab. Or you've heard of Jabir bin Yazid al-Ju'fi. These are called Muawiyah Yazid. Okay, there's a certain period where you have to realize, even Taqiyya dictates that you may change your name. I know people in India, 200 years ago, they were Shia, pure. They only did Taqiyya, 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 Taqiyya. Now, they're not Shia because the generations had to keep doing Taqiyya until the sons didn't know. I met once a guy called Sayyid Hassan al-Husayni. And he was not Shia. I was like, bro, you don't even need to be given a passport as a Shia. Sayyid Hassan al-Husayni. He's like, no, I'm not Shia. I'm like, you're not Shia. He's like, no, I'm not Shia. I said, how are you not Shia? He's like, we've never been Shia, but we love Imam al-Husayn. And the moment he says we love Imam al-Husayn, then you know that somewhere in the past, that family was Shia. So, Imam Ali names him Ali al-Akbar. He wants to instill that name in him. And Imam al-Husayn then begins to tell us about his character. When does Imam al-Husayn begin to tell us about his character? Look at the beauty of Karbala. In Karbala, in about a couple of hours, Imam gives the whole biography of Ali al-Akbar. What does Imam al-Husayn do? When Ali al-Akbar came out on the battlefield, Imam made clear what Ali al-Akbar is. When he said, Allahumma shahad alayhim. Oh Allah, be a witness on these people. فَقَدْ بَرَزَ إِلَيْهِمْ. Someone has come out against them. Who? Who's come out against them? Who's come out? أَشْبَهَ النَّاسِ. The most closest in resemblance. What? أَشْبَهَ النَّاسِ خَلْقًا. Number one, the closest looking person to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One day a Christian came into the Prophet's mosque. When he came in, people started jumping up and down. What are you doing here? Najasa, Najasa. You know, our people are crazy sometimes. Najasa. He said, I've become a Muslim. Don't worry. Chill. You see, if I saw a Christian come here into the mosque, I ain't getting people. Honestly, there's a way to talk. When a person comes to your mosque, there's a way to talk. The Christian came in. Najasa, Najasa. He said, listen, I'm a convert. Said, how are you a convert? He said, I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in my dream. Prophet Jesus told me, follow him, for he is the messenger after me. People were like, how can we believe you? How can we believe you? Who came in? Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. When Imam came in, they said to him, this Christian claims that he's become a Muslim. Said, how? Said, the person claims that he saw the Prophet in his dream. Imam said, if I show you someone, I want you to tell me if he looked like him or no. Up until that time, no one had really known. So he had with him young Ali al-Akbar. Imam removed the cloth from the face of Ali al-Akbar. The Christian had tears coming down saying, Wallah, Wallah, he looks like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Imagine, Allahumma salli. You can recite salawat, don't worry, there's no COVID measures on salawat. Let's have a second, much louder one. And a third one, yes, mashallah. Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. Ya Ali. Let's have a few more naras. We've missed them for 9 nights. Anyone who wants to contribute with your nara, please. Let's have one more. One more, inshallah. Ya Ali. He said to him, who is he? He said, he resembles Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Imam al-Husayn then looked at him. He said to him, over his body. And that Christian broke down. He said, no way. He said, there'll be a day. And then that's it. They ended the conversation there. Ali al-Akbar in his looks looked exactly like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Then Imam al-Husayn, what did he say? He said, if we missed to remind us of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, he would say that in his looks. Why don't you do adhan? Bro, all you got to do is Allah Akbar, Allah, Allah, Shara la ilaha illallah. That's it. My Sunni brothers, you tell them adhan, there's 50 jumping. Shia, it's as if adhan is nothing. It's a shame. It's a shame that we can be in each other's houses and not one person puts his chest out like Akbar did at Karbala. When his dad said to him, Akbar, remind me of the voice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nor did he turn around and say, Dad, no, not at all. So therefore, resemblance in which areas? Number 1, he looked like Rasulullah. Number 2, he sounded like Rasulullah. Ashbah an-nas khalqan. Number 2, khuluqan. Khalqan, khuluqan. Look in Arabic grammar. A fatha or a dhamma can make a huge difference. Khalqan, how you look like. Khuluqan. Khuluq, normally we call it the akhlaq of a person. Khulq is the spontaneous reaction of the soul. Akhlaq is when you've mastered the spontaneity of the reaction of your soul to events. Lack of akhlaq is you have a soul of an animal. You just jump, you get angry, you just want to fight everyone. No, with akhlaq, your soul, you've refined it to a level where you've got poise in virtually everything that you do. He said that Ali al-Akbar resembles the Prophet, number 1, in the way he looks. Number 2, in his moral characteristics. The best akhlaq amongst the companions, amongst all those alongside Imam al-Husayn was who? Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. From a young age, Ali al-Akbar had the best akhlaq. Imam al-Husayn doesn't say he's got the best akhlaq. أشبه الناس خلقا وخلقا بنبيك. He is the closest in his looks. It's no point just being good looking if the akhlaq doesn't accompany it. Closest in his looks, closest in his akhlaq. From a young age, he had the best akhlaq that you would see. He used to tell his mom, Layla, Mom, let's have smoke come out of the chimney at home. And she said to him, why? He said, so if there's any poor people walking past, they know that we're cooking, they can come home and eat with us. It's a phenomenal akhlaq. Phenomenal. Exactly like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alih in his akhlaq. Rasulullah, how much he loves to feed the poor. You know these Abu Huraira and all of these, what were they? They were poor people who used to sit in Medina and they would wait for people to feed them with crumbs and so on. It's amazing how a person can develop from one place to another. And you see that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how his akhlaq was. What does Imam al-Husayn say? فَقَدْ بَرَزَ هُ أَشْبَهِ النَّاسِ خَلْقًا وَخُلُقًا. Number two, number one, beauty. Number two, akhlaq. Number three, وَمَنْطِقًا. Mantiq, normally you translate. If you go and study Hausa, you'll translate it as logic. But the logic, or we could say the rationale of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, no one resembles it like this young man. In which way? How many times did Rasulullah keep repeating, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi? Keeps repeating it. That there is a recognition of what? A recognition that Allah controls me. Allah has dominion over me. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi. Ultimately, I'm going to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That rationale, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi lived by it. Ali al-Akbar, on his way to Karbala, he saw his dad all of a sudden wake up in a state. When he saw him, he said, Dad, what's wrong? He said, I just saw a dream, and it looks like that death is approaching us. How do you view death? These questions are always asked. How do you view it? He said, Dad, are we not on the truth? Said to him, yes. He said, then whether death comes to me or I go to death, what's there to fear? Look at the rationale, the same as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. That this world, how many times you hear people say, don't give lectures on death? When you hear people saying, don't give lectures on death, why? If I'm on the path of Al Muhammad, what's death? That means that I'm going to inshallah go and chill with them in barzakh. Why should I fear it? When you do all these majalis, what do you do it for? So that one day you're able to sit with Al Muhammad when you pass away. Isn't that true? So why would I be scared of death? Rather, I should look forward to it. The chance to see the holy eyes of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. The chance to see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. The chance for some of us to hang out with our great-grandmother alayhi salam. And the chance for all of us to be alongside the Imams. So when his dad said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, Ali Akbar said, Dad, what is it? He said, I just saw a dream and it looks like this is what's going to happen. He said, Dad, are we not on the truth? He said, yes. He said, then what's there to fear? What's the problem? Either death will come to me or we will go towards death. And no doubt, in the same way Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sacrificed everything, you see Ali al-Akbar and Bani Hashim sacrifice everything as well. Because when you come to the 10th of Muharram, you see from the beginning, I'll stand up, I'll do the adhan, he does the adhan. Many people don't know the order of what took place on the 10th of Muharram. At the beginning, 50 died straight away. Straight away. If we say Imam al-Husayn had 72 companions, 50 died within a minute. Because there's thousands showering arrows against 72. And if you're going to shower that many arrows, what's going to happen? You're going to die at that moment. So out of those 72, 50 died. How many remained? Let's say of those companions, 22. Of Bani Hashim, 18. Companions versus Bani Hashim. Ali al-Akbar went first and said, let me go. Bani Hashim are here to serve their guests. Allahu Akbar. And you had people like Hurb bin Yazid al-Riyahi, Habib bin Madahir, Muslim bin Awsa just saying, no way. No way, Bani Hashim. We are here for you, Bani Hashim. And you look at them, truly those companions, Ashab al-Husayn, they could not bear that a member of Bani Hashim dies before them. It's the greatest loyalty you'll ever see. Until then, it came to the turn of Bani Hashim. When it came to the turn of Bani Hashim, what do you find? You find the moment it came to the turn of Bani Hashim, who was the first to go? Ali al-Akbar. Let me tell you something the scholars say. The scholars say every single time a person went out to fight at Karbala, Imam would tell him, please don't. They've come to kill me. The only person he didn't stop was Akbar. This is in the traditions. Take your hearts to Karbala. This is within the traditions. The only person he didn't stop was Akbar. Do you know why? He never had the heart to stop him. You know, when you see your son, you don't sometimes have that strength to even stop him. The first thing that you saw was he said, Dad, I'll go first. And he looked into his eyes. Sukaina bint al-Husayn narrates. She said, when my father saw Akbar mounting the horse, she said, I saw death moments away from my father. She said that was the state he was in. He came and he embraced Akbar with an embrace where they literally couldn't stop crying while hugging each other. For Akbar, it killed him. Why? Because he couldn't get water for his father. That killed him. How can I not get water for my father? You know, your father says to your son, get me a glass of water. You'll get up straight away. And here you've got a father who's thirsty. And even Akbar did not realize just how thirsty Imam al-Husayn was. You know where I'm heading with this masibah. He embraced him. They embraced each other. He rode on his horse. When he rode on his horse, all of a sudden he heard a cry, my son, return. He turned around, he saw his father standing there. He came back, he said, Dad, what is it? He said, you don't know how hard it is for a father to bid farewell to his child. Yes. All fathers, all mothers, I'm telling you something as simple as bidding farewell to your child at the first day of school. How did it break you? Or to send them university, how did it break you? Now you tell me, how did it break the heart of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam? And then Imam turned around to him and said, Ali, before you go bid farewell to your mother Layla. And go and bid farewell to who? To your auntie Zainab. Allahu Akbar. He went back, he bid farewell to his mother, and then he bid farewell to his auntie Zainab. Normally I would begin my musibah now, but I just want us to go into the masa'ib by breaking up the musibah so we understand his character. When he came out, what you would normally do is you face the opposition, and those soldiers have got no thirst issues at all. They're in full strength. He is completely thirsty. He has the driest throat. And you can imagine the heat of Karbala. Some of us in the heat of the summer of London, which is not even heat, we complain. Imagine you're wearing full armor. And he came out. You had to recite a poem that explained the whole of your life. A poem. Imagine someone said to you, write a poem explaining the whole meaning of life to you. And he looked towards all of them. He knew that there were some who knew that his mom was related to Yazid. So some of them are thinking, will he change his mind? Won't he? And he knew there were others who used to curse Imam Ali alayhi salam, who were in the army of Umar bin Sa'ad. And he stood there and he looked at all of them and he said, Ana Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali. I am Ali, son of Husayn, son of Ali. Why do you need to mention Imam Ali at the end of that line? Because he's making it clear that this battle, Ali will remain at the top. Ana Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali. I am Ali, son of Husayn, son of Ali. Nabi. Listen to these words carefully. We and the house of Allah have a greater right on the Prophet who you claim to all believe in. Who has a greater right? Me or you? Because you say La ilaha illallah Muhammad bin Nabi. أطعنكم بالرمح حتى ينثني. I'll strike you with my spear until I completely annihilate you. أضربكم بالسيف. I'll strike you with my sword. أحمي عن أبي. Protecting my father. How difficult it is for him. But what type of strike? أحمي عن أبي. Which strike? ضرب غلام. A strike of a young man. هاشمي علوي. From one side, I'm Bani Hashim. From the other side, I'm Alawi. Wallah, by Allah. لا يحكم فينا ابن الدعي. That son of adultery will not rule over us. Do you know what guts it takes to say that? You've got thirsty soldiers, swords everywhere. And you say that son of adultery, Ibn Ziyad. What? You think that he's going to rule over me? Wallah, he'll never. I'll use my sword, I'll use my spear, and I'll go all out. How many attacks did he have? Because this goes a bit wishy-washy in the Masa'ib. People leave without knowing what's going on. First attack, he annihilated a lot of the opposition. Maybe 100 of them, he attacked them and he killed. He had 2 attacks. First, 100 of the opposition. Second attack, he had gone back a bit. He had taken a rest. He went back out again. Heavy armor. It's killing him. And the thirst is getting to him. For a mom, it's difficult. She can't see him. All she can see is that the dust of Karbala, of Imam al-Husayn. Because if Imam al-Husayn was smiling, then she knows her boy is doing well. But if she saw a change in the complexion, then she'd know there's something wrong. She saw a change in the complexion. She said, Aba Abdullah, tell me about my boy. How is he? I can't see. He said to her, Layla, they've surrounded him. He said, but Layla, the dua of a mother's never rejected. All of you remember your mothers tonight, please. Because without your mothers, you would never have had that love of Imam al-Husayn. There are some of us, our mothers are not with us anymore. Remember when they carried you wearing black to Majalis al-Husayn, they instilled in you that love. He said to her, Layla, I want you to read the dua. The dua of the mother is not accepted. Layla, at that moment, she read the dua. My dear brothers and sisters, if you have any hajat, read this dua. What does she do? She says, Oh Allah, I ask you, in the name of the thirst of Imam al-Husayn. Allahu Akbar. First thing, before you ask for anything, say, Ya Allah, I ask you in the name of Atash al-Husayn. Secondly, I ask you in the name of the loneliness of Imam al-Husayn. Thirdly, I ask you in the name of the madlumiyat of Imam al-Husayn. Then she said, Oh Allah, You returned Yusuf to Yaqub. Yusuf was so far from Yaqub. You returned him. Oh Allah, you returned Ismail to Hajar. Why did she say Ismail to Hajar? Because Ismail was moments away from being. And she knew that her boy was moments away. Return my Ali back to me. He came back. He came back. They looked at him. Do you know there's something? He tried to remain strong for his mom. So he hugged his mom. He left the tent. And then he came to his father. Father, al-atash, the thirst. أتعبني. I can't take it anymore. It's too much for me now. He said to him, son, listen to these lines. He said, son, in a moment your grandfather will quench your thirst from the pool of Kawthar. I know many of us have missed Majalis, haven't we? What I'm going to recite from now on, I recite with the hope that my Bibi is amongst us. Do you know how soft-hearted Imam al-Husayn is? I know all of you here you probably know more than me how soft-hearted Imam al-Husayn is. I'm sure all of you have your own relationship. How many of you have your own relations with Imam al-Husayn? You miss Majalis. You missed it this year. You just couldn't wait to let out emotion of what's been a very difficult time. You missed Imam al-Husayn. Do you know how soft-hearted Imam al-Husayn is? Imam al-Husayn loved his boy so much. When he saw the amount of anguish in his boy, he said, give me your tongue. Just let your tongue out. A father, if his son's thirsty, will do anything to put water, even if it means some saliva just to help his son. He placed his tongue on the tongue of his son. It broke Akbar's heart. Ask me why it broke Akbar's heart. Akbar thought because he had fought, his tongue would be the most dry. He said, Father, your tongue's drier than mine. My dear brothers, it was only a few minutes later when you would find Akbar on the ground. Father, Father, come to me. At that moment, Imam, when he ran out of the when he came out of the tent, two things were noticeable. What were they? The first one, he went in the opposite direction. Akbar is there. When a mother or father sees her child in trouble, they don't know what to think. Sukaina called out, Father, why are you going in the opposite direction? Akbar is there. He said, Sukaina, the death of your brother has blinded me. Can you imagine Imam al-Husayn cannot see? The narrator says Imam al-Husayn couldn't run because when your boy is on the ground, your feet don't let you run. That conversation between the two of them, those final moments, believe you me, those moments break the heart every year when you recite them. First thing, he saw him say, Assalamu alayka wa Abdullah. You imagine the scene, one hand out, not two. Why only one? Why not both? He got nearer and he saw what? He saw a dagger firmly in the chest. May Allah never show any father. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never show any father. One poet, what does he say? He says, Imam al-Husayn at that moment turned to Najaf. Why? because he had something to say to his father, Amir al-Mu'mineen. My father, you lifted the gate of Khaybar, but you never lifted a dagger from the chest of your son. Come to Karbala and help me lift this dagger. That was one side. The other side, what is it? The other side breaks all of our hearts. There is this conversation narrated by one of the Maraji'. He says Imam al-Husayn looked into the eyes of Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. When he looked at him in those final moments, he said to him, Ali, my son, I see you smile and I see you cry. Allahu Akbar. He said to him, Ali, my son, I see you smile and I see you cry. Why do you smile? Why do you cry? He said to him, Father, Husayn, Father Abu Abdullah, I smile because I see my grandfather walking towards me. Ya Allah, when we die, let Amir al-Mu'mineen come take our souls, Ya Allah. Father, I cry because I see my grandfather walking towards me, ready to quench my thirst from the pool of Kawthar. He said to him, Ali, my son, why is it that you cry? He said to him, Father, I cry because I see my grandmother Fatima in front of me. Allah! How could Fatima not be at Karbala? If she attends our Majalis, how could she not be there? I cry because I see Fatima in front of me. I cry because for every tear that you shed, I see her slap herself on her cheek. He took him back. They, of course, beheaded him. They placed his head on a spear. Layla had to walk. Akbar's head is on the spear. How difficult was it? But even more difficult in Kufa. Because when they were walking in Kufa, all the Kufans were staring at the heads. Then suddenly one of the ladies said, I hope that head, I hope the mother of the boy whose head that is, did not have to see someone like that fall. What was the reply? I saw my son fall in front of me. All of you together. I saw my son fall in front of me. Allahu Akbar. She opened up her heart with these lines, yes, but she had to continue seeing her son. But seeing Husayn beheaded broke me. It's one thing to see Akbar fall, but to see shimmer on the chest was even harder. I saw my son in front of me, but even harder was seeing my husband beheaded in front of me. When they returned to Karbala on the Arba'een, each of the mothers had something to say to the earth of Karbala. The poet narrates it beautifully. Rabab ran to her baby. Karbala, Karbala, don't sting my baby's neck. Allahu Akbar. What did the other say? Layla came. What did she say? Karbala, Karbala, cover my husband's body. One by one, they had their own thing to say. Imam Zayn al-Abidin, he came back now. The heads of Akbar, he placed back with the body. But there was one more head, Imam al-Husayn's head. He placed that with the body. The moment he placed the head of Imam al-Husayn back to the body, he heard a voice from the lips of the Imam. What was it? The baby, place the baby's head. Allahu Akbar. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ya Allah, provide us the shafa of Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. Ya Allah, allow us to be amongst those who perform the ziyarah of the family of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam and the companions of the Imam alayhi salam. Raise us with the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. Allow us to be amongst his companions. Let's ask for all of our hajat at this moment with the tear coming down from your eye. There are many of us who have a hajat. There are many who have children. There are many who want their families happy. These are difficult times as well. Let's all recite the ayah together. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'ah wa yakshifu as-su'. Louder. Amma yujibu المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the marhumin of the originators of this majlis with a surah al-Fatiha, but before it the loudest of your salawat.